Alright guys, we'll start the lesson now. I think other people join in later. So just for reference, have any of you guys actually done the homework problems from last lesson or what? Just raise your hands if you guys have done the homework problems.
Actually, I joined today. It's my first lesson.
Oh, okay.
So,
Alright. That's fine. So you will have to go over previous lessons which we have
okay,
uploaded on the GitHub. So
okay,
just do that like whenever you can. Alright?
okay.
So for now, I will go over the homework problems from last lesson. Alright?
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's see. All right. So, can you guys see my screen? Okay, I'm guessing you can. All right. So the first one was pi is approximately equal to 3.14. Make pi equal to 3.14 and write a program that outputs something like Patrick likes pi, so 3.14. So for this part of the program, we make a variable called pi and make it equal to 3.14. So let's say double, and we'll call it pi. Oh, sorry, equals to 3.14. All right. So now we have made a variable called pi, and now we just have to output this part of the statement. So we just do cout. So in this case, I'm gonna write my name, and then the variable, then end line. So if we print it, it should say localx 3.14, just like that. So for the next one, it says make a program outputting the number 5 by storing it in a variable first. Hint, what words come before a variable name? Alright, so this seems pretty easy as well. We just write a data type. So in this case, I'd say int because we don't have any decimals. Let's say x equals to, I think it's 5. Yeah, I have 5. And then we just output that. So cout x, and then that should output 5. Alright. Now for the third one, it says write a program outputting the number 6 by using a variable that is a double but not 6, then explicitly converting it to static cast. Alrighty. So for this one, wait, let me just check the. Okay, yeah. Alright, so we've made a double that and made it equal to 6.99. Alright, and then the syntax for explicit conversion is this, so you guys might have to memorize that, or you could just look it up when you need it. And so basically making wait, just unraise a. Okay, so join. You have a question, Swapnil?
So basically I missed the other class, like class 2.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm basically really confused about this.
So what do you, is there anything in particular you're confused about, or what? Or just
Like
everything?
what was like the thing to like enter?
Uh,
Like the codes.
what do you mean by that?
Like where are you going right now?
Like this thing? This.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a website called Replay. You would have done this in lesson one we set this up for like a big
Oh
portion of
yeah.
time.
Oh, I just forgot what it was called.
Yeah, okay. Just search up Replit on Google and it should come up. Alright. So over here, for just continuing the problem, so we're making a new int called result. And then we're converting the number, which was for originally double, we're converting it into an int, and then just outputting that. It's like pretty simple once you know the syntax. Alright, for question 4. Given a character A stored inside a variable in 3 different ways. So we have a hint. So one of them is by putting auto before the variable name. The other one's string, and then we have to figure out the third one. This one's pretty easy as well. It's just basic knowledge for C++. So first one's auto, that's one of the three, and then string, and the third one, the third data type that could store a variable, a character, is literally called char, which is short for character. So as you can see here, char. That's basically all you need to know for that one. Now the fifth one, creating a variable that is of integer type and implicitly converting it into a double. So for implicit conversion, you don't need any syntaxes. It's just the code does it for you basically, based on the context. So in this case, we're making an int named number and making equal to 5. And then making a double called result and make it equal to the number. So in this case, the integer value becomes a double because we're making a double equal to number. So the compiler would just do it for you. You don't have to like write a syntax or anything for this. So yeah. Now the last one is bool. So bool is, just a quick recap, bool is a data type that can only store two values, true or false, nothing else, right? So the question asks us to declare a Boolean data type variable of a value true, so like this, and then declare another one of a value false. So this one's pretty simple as well. So here we're declaring a Boolean of true, a data type of value true, and then another variable of a value false. It's like pretty basic. It's nothing too tricky. Alright, so those are the um homework problems from last lesson. So does anyone have any questions about it, or could we move on to today's lesson? Alright, so let's move on to today's lesson. Alright, so today's lesson is Cin and math operations. So quick recap, we learned about cout in the first lesson. So cout basically comes from two words. That's C, which comes from the language of C, which we're using, which is like the original language, and out, which stands for output. So based on that, Cn comes from C, which is the language, and N comes from input. So Cn is basically used for like when you want the user to input anything into your program and then use that value. So Cn is a pretty big part of programming and you'd use it like quite a lot. And Cn is an object belonging to the standard library's IO stream. So this is whenever you make a new program, you say this. That's so you can like input and output stuff. Alright, so here's an example of Cn. So you're making an integer value variable with called age, and then you're asking the user to input their age, and then they're gonna input their age, and you're storing whatever value they input into age, the value you created, and then you just output that again. And then we have a note that Cn can also be used for other data types, so not just integers. It could be used for strings, chars, doubles, anything you want. Alright, so quick practice before we move on. You guys can try making an echo program that asks you for your name and then outputs your name. So it's similar to this program, so I'll just keep it on screen so you guys could have a reference. And I'll just give you guys like 5 minutes to work on it, and then I can help you guys if you guys have any problems with it. So just work on it right now. I'll give you guys 5 minutes, and then we can move on.
And which thing are you making this thing? It's like,
So where do you write the code?
yeah.
Okay, so there's this website called Replit. So I'm
Okay.
pretty sure Patrick has sent the link in chat. So just click on that link, and you might have to make an account, and then you just
Okay.
and then it'll ask you to select like a template. So you select C++, and then just create a new REPL, and then you can start coding there.
Okay.
It should be pretty simple. Just tell me if you have any questions.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I'll show you guys the problems. That's the problem. Someone has a question?
Can you just quickly go back to the other slide?
This one? Or
The
this
one
one?
above.
Alright,
Yeah.
yeah. Alright, I think, does anyone still need more time, or should I show you guys the solution? Alright, I'll just start working towards the solution, and then you guys could ask any questions if you guys have any. Alright, so so first we say C out, just then we can make a string called name, and then cn name, and then again cout the name, and then that should be it. So I'm just gonna say my name, and there you go. It's a pretty simple program. You guys might need some practice using cn, because especially with these, like the way these arrows point, but you guys should get used to it soon enough. Does anyone have any questions, or can we move on to the next topic? Alright, no questions. Okay, math operations. So what are math operations? Mathematical operations are basic calculations that are used to manipulate numbers and values. These operations form the foundation of mathematics and are commonly used in programming and mathematical problem solving. So math operations, as you guys probably know, are like your basic operations like addition, subtraction, and anything you'd use to manipulate numbers. So in C++, mathematical operations are one of the most common things used in a program. In C++, you can perform various mathematical operations using arithmetic operators. So these would be your addition, subtraction symbols, and all that stuff. These operators allow you to perform basic arithmetic calculations such as addition, subtraction, division, modulus, which is remainder. We'll look at it soon. And yeah, it's all basic. Also, C++ follows the Bedmus rule. So if you give the code a bunch of mathematical operations in a single line, it will follow the Bedmus rule as you would normally do. That's the case with most programming languages. So yeah. Alright, so the first one is addition. So the operator for this is just a plus sign, and as you could guess, it just adds two numbers. So for an example, here we have two integers, int values a and b. So a is equal to 5 and b is equal to 3. And then if you add them together, you get 8, which is how addition works. Second one is subtraction. The operator for this is just the subtraction sign. And then it subtracts the second number from the first one. So in this case, it subtracts b from a. So you get 5 minus 3, that is 2. The third one is multiplication. So the operator for this is an asterisk. So you just use that whenever you multiply two numbers together. So in this case, again, 5 times 3, which is 15. Division. So the operator for this is the slash symbol, and it divides the first number from the second number. So in this case, you get 10 divided by 5, which is 2. And addition, load, and division. When you're dividing using two int values, the result will always ignore everything after the decimal, because that's how int values work. They cannot support decimals. So if you want to keep the decimal, you should probably use double float instead of int. So if you have an example here, so it's again, if you do 5 divided by 3 with an int value, it only gives you 1, but the actual answer is like 1.6 repeating. But since it's an int value, it ignores everything after the decimal, so it ignores this part of the answer. But in this one, if you use double for the data type, it actually outputs 1.6667, which is actually more accurate. So if you need more accurate answers from your code, it's probably better to use a double or a float. So Yeah. A fifth one, this is modulus. The operator for this is the percent symbol. So it basically gives you the remainder of a division. So, and it only works with int values. So double values do not work for modulus. It only works with int values. So as you guys probably know, remainder is when you divide something and whatever is left of the number, instead of adding the decimal, you just keep it as the remainder. So in this case, if you do 5 divided by 3, the remainder is 2 because 5 divides by 3 once, and then 2 remains. Alright, increment. Increment, the operator for this is plus plus, and it increases the value of the variable by 1, and it can either be prefix like this, so before the variable, or postfix, so like after the variable. We'll learn more about prefix and postfix in a bit. Also, increments are most commonly used in like for loops, so you'd see that soon enough. Then we have decrements, which are just minus minus. So these are basically the same thing as increments, but they have a prefix, so before the variable, and postfix after. So an example here, so if you see int a equals 5, and then if you prefix some minus minus a, you get 4, so that's 1 less than 5. And same thing with the postfix, so if 1 less than 3 is 2, and so that outputs 2. Any questions so far? Alright, moving on. So what's the difference between prefix and postfix? Because if you saw in these examples, so this one takes one, so it outputs 1 less than 5, this one outputs 1 less than 3. Even for increments, it's 1 more than 5 and 1 more than 3. So what is actually the difference between these? So prefix for increment or decrement is when the operator is placed before the variable, and postfix is when it's placed after, which you guys probably already figured out. But the main difference is for prefix, the operation is performed first. So the variable is incremented or decremented first, and then the new value of the variable is returned. So if you guys see over here, we have an integer called integer x, which has the value of 5. Then we make a new integer y, which has the value of plus x. So in this case, as you can see in the comment, x becomes 6 when you do plus x. And this 6 value is assigned to y as well. So like if you output x and y, you get 6 for both of them. But postfix is slightly different in the way that the original value of the variable is returned first, and then the operation is performed. So as you can see here, it's the same integer x, which is equal to 5, and then y is equal to x plus. So this time x is postfix, right? So in this case, the y becomes 5 because the postfix only works after the operation is done. So in this case, the value of x is still 5. So when you say y equals x plus, y becomes 5, and then the value of x increases by 1, so it becomes 6. So in this case, if you output x and y, you get x is 6, but y still has 5 because y stores the original value of x, not the one after the postfix. So that's like the biggest difference between the two. It could be a little confusing, but you get used to it as you move on and like code more stuff. Any questions about this? Because this is, I'd consider like the hardest topic of today's lesson. Alright, no questions. Okay. Alright. In addition to these basic operations, we also have the standard library that also provides a variety of mathematical functions such as constants in the C math header. So what this is how you say include IOStream by default. You could also say hash include and then include and then say this. Oh, okay, that did not work. You could also say this, and then what this does, it lets you use some of the more advanced operations like pow stands for power, square root, absolute value. So what these do, let's say like for square root, so if I say square root and like give it a number, it's gonna output the square root of the number as you guess. So absolute value is absolute value. So if you give it a negative number, it's gonna return a positive number. Power is like exponents. And m pi is for pi, so it basically gives you the value of pi. You could just write it as 3.14, but I think m pi stores it with like higher accuracy, so more decimals. So you could use these as you like learn more about coding or you need like more accurate data. But yeah, so these are pretty important as well. But for this course, for now, we wouldn't be focusing on this too much. So yeah. So we have our next practice problem. So try making a program that asks the user to input two numbers and then output the sum of these numbers. So for this one, we are basically combining what we learned about Cn, which is this, where we input numbers, and you're also combining your math operations, and then you're outputting the sum of the numbers. So I'll give you guys like 5 minutes to work on this, and then I'll help you guys with so any questions you guys might have. Does anyone have any questions so far? Alright, perfect. So I'll give you guys like 5 minutes to work on this. And then if you guys have any questions, just ask me. Alright, was everyone able to solve this, or does anyone have any questions for this problem? No questions? Alright, that's pretty good. Also, whoever joined like this their first lesson today, were you able to set up Replit, or do you need help with that? Okay, I'm gonna assume you were able to do it. If you were not, um, okay, good. Um, so if anyone else needs help setting it up, just let me know. And does anyone have any questions for today's lesson? If not, I'll give you guys like a few more problems to work on, and then I can help you guys solve them. You need help? What do you need help with? Could you just unmute and tell me? Um, what do you need help with? Could you just like let me know so I can help you? Or what? I can't enter the app. I can't find it. Uh, it's not an application, so if you just search up Replit on Google, oh wait, let me just actually, yeah. So if you just search up Replit and then just enter, and then you see this website, you click on it, and then it'll ask you to like log in, or like I think like start building. So you click on it and then you make an account, and then when you make an account, it asks you to create a Replit, and then you just select C++ and then just create it. So you can just, if you still need help, you can just unmute and like just tell me what's going on so I can help you. Alright, just tell me if it works, and then if it doesn't, I'll help you. Alright, for the rest of you guys, if you guys don't have any questions, I'll just quickly give you guys homework questions. Just give me a second. Alright, I'll just make a new slide. How do you spell that? Yeah, I'll just type it in chat. So you just search that up, or here I'll send you the link as well. You can just click on the link and then it'll take you to this website. So just click on it, it'll take you to the website, and then you just have to make an account. You got it? Good. Okay, for you guys, wait, oh shoot. Alright, let's see. Alright, you guys can work on this one. So it says write a program that inputs two numbers and then subtracts the first number from the second number and then outputs the difference. So it's going to be similar to this one, but instead of adding the numbers, you're subtracting them. So you guys should be able to solve it with these if you're able to solve the first one. So just work on it for now. And then I'll give you a few more. Alright, so you guys could work on these. did not mention that. Yeah, you guys could work on these problems and then just once you finish the first one, go move to the second one and so on. They shouldn't be too hard, so you guys should be able to solve them with these. And if you guys have any questions about it, just let me know. Does anyone have a question? Does someone unmute it? Alright, so you guys can just continue working on these then. And if you guys have any questions about the lesson, just ask me.
So how do we get the previous lessons video if you want to learn how to do that?
I hear, okay. Just go to it, just go to the GitHub and then you should be able to get the link. So, okay, if we go to, I just, I'll send you the link. Alright, so I send the link in chat, just click on that and there should be like an option called classes, like class videos. And then if you click on it, you should be able to have the video.
Okay.
So as you can see, there's like a YouTube link, so just enter that into your browser and it should take you to like the video.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so just go over the videos in your free time and like if you have any questions, just ask them in the next class or something. Does anyone have any questions about these problems so far, or are you guys being able to solve those? Alright, I'm gonna assume you guys are able to solve these. Good job. Alright, so does anyone have any questions about these problems? If not, I think we could end the class. So these problems, these slides and like the video for them and practice problems will be posted on the GitHub. So that'll be like the link I just sent. So just keep an eye on the GitHub, and the solutions for like all these problems would be covered in the next class. So yeah, and I'd suggest you work on these problems because these are like the very basics of C++. So you need to know all of this to learn more advanced stuff. So I'd recommend you guys do these problems. But other than that, I think we could just end the class if there are no questions. Alright, you guys could start leaving then.